Yo, what up, boxing world? I know, God, different scenery. I'm at work, taking a 15-minute break, man. But I want to talk about this, maybe even do a little bit more when I get home with it, though. But Anthony Joshua did an interview with Tony Bellew, which I'm gonna say this: Tony Bellew seemed very comfortable in that position of being in interviews. Maybe after his career, he'd be able to take a role, something like Paulie Malignaggi, and maybe even one day call fights beside him. You never know, guys. But this video right here is about Anthony Joshua, right? So a majority of the interview, Tony Bellew and Joshua was talking about how, what to do and how to break back in, and you know exactly what he's bringing to the game, guys. And they asked a question, or Tony Bellew asked a question, right, towards the end of it, about the only other guy out there. And Tony Bellew looked at him, kind of took a little break or pause between his words, and highlight, right, Deontay Wilder punches Stiverne in the second fight. And he said, Deontay Wilder. And Anthony Joshua, listen, guys, here's some important things that Anthony Joshua had went on record and talked about how he was going to knock him out. It ain't going to go 4 rounds, how he's going to basically blitzkrieg him, and all these different things, right? And Anthony Joshua admitted, and he said that Deontay Wilder is a 50-50 fight. And now, here is the crazy thing about that, because when you're a fighter, a lot of fighters don't feel that, they might feel that, oh, it can be a tough fight, but a lot of times they don't really feel 50-50. Now, they may say that after the fight. Now, they just fought 12 rounds, and you knew, like, man, during that fight, it was a tough fight, and I might have lost some of the rounds, I'm a little unsure. Then you might be like, okay, all right, let's see what the judges say. But going into a fight, already thinking, like, man, guys, I'm going to say this. Hold on, man. Let me get this out of my face. Hold on. This thing is horrible. All right. All right, I think we're good, guys. YouTube app itself for going live is horrible. It is horrible. Because it's always disconnecting. But Anthony Joshua was on record saying he's going to knock Kevin Spark out, right? He's going to knock Deontay Wilder out. 4 rounds. He's going to blitzkrieg him. Now he's speaking a whole new different tune. He's talking about how it's a 50-50 fight. And then he said something like experience, how, basically he's inexperienced compared to Deontay Wilder. Now, I really don't get this excuse, guys. In my eyes, you can only claim inexperience when you do not have a title. If you do not have a title and you're not fighting for a title, and people trying to push you to fight for a title, then you can say, you know what, I'm not ready yet. I need to get a little bit more experience, and then I would challenge for a title fight. Then it's somewhat acceptable. But if you have the titles, that's out the window. Because if you have the title, that means you're the top dog. Inexperience or no experience, you are the top dog. And it's not like you accidentally did it once. You know what I'm saying? You have a few titles. But it's so crazy that when it came to fighting those other people for the titles, you wasn't inexperienced or didn't have as enough experience. But when it comes to facing Deontay Wilder, now your experience come into play, right? Now all of a sudden, Deontay Wilder, you're not experienced. You know what you're really saying? What you're really saying is that Deontay Wilder is a better fighter than you. No matter how much they say he's a wild man, he swings with these wild punches, you know that those wild punches will actually connect on you. Because when it came to fighting demigod Charles Martin, Prince Charles Martin, the Prince, what's his name, from the Black Panthers, T'Challa. Is this your king? Is this your king? No, Prince Charles is not my king. When it came to fighting Charles Martin, for what belt was it at that time? Was it the IBF? Did Charles Martin have an IBF belt? I'm not sure. When it comes to fighting Charles Martin, there was no issue talking about being experienced, right? There was no issues about being experienced. And when it comes to fighting Parker, there was no issues about being inexperienced, and there was no issues when he fought Klitschko coming off of a 2-year layoff. There was no issues about anything about being experienced, right? There was not. But how come when it comes to Deontay Wilder, now is the whole experience factor? He's not as experienced, and he needs to get more experience. I don't get it. If you want to get more experience, and you don't want people pushing you, how about this? Give up the belts, and then you can fight whoever you want. Go ahead and tuck tail. Go ahead, tuck tail. And then you can fight whoever you want. But to me, from watching this, I really sense that Anthony Joshua is afraid of losing to Deontay Wilder. I'm not trying to knock Anthony Joshua, but I'm just saying that he fought all these other people and he never claimed anything about experience. He never did it once. But now all of a sudden with Deontay Wilder, he's claiming that he doesn't have the experience. And it's a 50-50 fight. What fighter you know go around saying, I don't know, it's a 50-50 fight. You know, anybody could get that one. What do you mean anybody can get that one? You're involved in it. I bet you if you ask Deontay Wilder, I bet you he's not going to say it's a 50-50 fight. I bet you that. I bet you if you ask Tyson Fury, see, listen, the people that say it's a 50-50 fight should be us. The people that's watching, the fans, the commentators, the gurus of boxing. Let them people say that it's a 50-50 fight. As a fighter, even when I fight, right? You know what I'm saying? When I used to fight and I saw somebody on the other side of that corner, even if I knew he might have been good or not, I thought I can beat him. He never faced nobody like me. And what we did in that ring would make me think either I won for sure, or man, I don't know, that was close. He was better than I thought, you know what I'm saying? But that's after the fact. That is after the fact. Anthony Joshua has already saw himself getting knocked the sparked out a few times. That's why he says a 50-50. Let me do me a favor. Go ask Tyson Fury. Ask Tyson Fury, hey, who's going to win between you and Deontay Wilder? I bet you any kind of money right now, he would say, I'm going to win. He would say, well, what does Tyson Fury say? You bum, you know, Wilder. You know, and listen, now a lot of us are saying Tyson Fury gonna get knocked the spark out. But Tyson Fury doesn't believe that. And ask Deontay Wilder, who's gonna win between you and Tyson Fury? You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder's gonna tell you, you know, I'm gonna knock him the spark out. Thank him for taking this fight, but I'm gonna bless him with a right hand that he's gonna have to go back and say 3 Hail Marys to get that swelling to go down in his face. But when you talk to Anthony Joshua about who's going to win between you and Deontay Wilder, listen, he's got to fight Povetkin, right? And he's still struggling with the fact that he's going to be pressured to fight Deontay Wilder. He doesn't like that, listen, man. He would rather go to the doctor's office every day and allow them to hook something to his arm and do the blood pressure. He'd rather deal with that type of pressure than deal with a right hand that has as much force as a backwards mule kick. Facts. And it's so crazy right now. I don't know how the event's going to sell. I don't think it's going to do well in the States. I don't think it's going to do well over here in the United States because I haven't seen it being promoted as well. I've seen a few YouTube things. Now, it might get more of a push in the UK. I imagine they're pushing it hard in the UK. That's probably where they're going to try to focus more of their sales on. I haven't heard anything really about pushing the zone over here. I don't know what they're going to do with the zone. I know they're trying to push it, but I don't know how that's going to work. But to be honest, I don't think it's going to do well because it's crazy. You're fighting Povetkin. In every interview you do, they mention Deontay Wilder. You can't go to a Starbucks and say, hey, can I have a grande size coffee? Oh, sure. When you gonna fight Wilder? Everything he goes, there's Wilder. Hey, there's a new Avengers movie coming out. Hey, you wanna go get tickets? Nah, I'd rather get tickets to you and Deontay Wilder. He just can't get away from it. He can't run from it. He can't escape it. Let me head back to this building, man. If they didn't pay me, I would not go back to this building. Yo, Charles, what's going on? Man, Charles, man, I am using the D-Direct YouTube app, and it is horrible, man. I didn't have time to do my normal setup and use the app. It's crazy when an app that's not YouTube works better through YouTube than using the YouTube Direct app. But this is the only chance I had, only time I had to get away from work, and I want to do a video. But when I get back home, in, I don't know, about an hour and a half, I'm gonna definitely do something hopefully a little bit better than this, because I don't like it when it be choppy. So I may have to come back to the same subject, and I hate repeating myself because I'm so freestyling with this junk. But all right, guys, let me go and walk back in. But I just want to tell you guys that Anthony Joshua admitted Deontay Wilder's a 50-50 fight. And I believe him. And from looking at him, he was a little bit bruised up. I think sparring been a little bit hard to him. His left eye was kind of red under it. Even the sparring partner's been tagging him a little bit. And don't get me wrong, because that's what sparring is for. And I think he knows if he fights Deontay Wilder. Cause remember, guys, during this interview, one thing they said, he said that what you're going to see in this fight is that he's a better boxer. People always talk about he getting knockouts and knockouts. But the one thing he want to focus on now is his boxing. He said he wants to boxing, and you're going to see that when he outboxes Povetkin. And the reason I believe he's focused on his boxing and his head moving and his slipping, the things that he said, is because he knows he's going to need all of that plus a little bit more coming through the front door when he faces Deontay Wilder.